Hiya! Hi everybody, I'm Estel with Toolmonks, and today I'm going to show you how to create professional looking videos quickly and inexpensively by using a really useful tool called ScreenFlow. Now it's built for Mac, and it's a screen capture and video editing software. In fact, it's what I'm using to create the video that you're watching now. Now, we're not going to take the time to cover every detail in this video. My goal here is to teach you just enough so that by the end of this, you'll be able to create your own professional looking videos just like this one. Okay, when you're ready to record, you're going to go up under ScreenFlow, press File, and press New Recording. Then you're going to get a little window. There I am. You're going to either use the built-in site or you can adjust it to a webcam externally if you like. And down below, you have the same settings for your built-in microphone or for an external microphone. Now you can see I'm doing a little sound check there. When I'm ready to record, I just go over and press the red record button. And I give a little countdown, get a second to prepare, and then I do my recording. Once I'm finished recording, I go right up to this little camera, I press stop, and it'll ask me if I want to create a new document or if I want to add this file to an existing document. And once I press create, now you can see that my media has been added to my document and is ready to be edited. Okay, so let's start with an empty document. Now, let's look at the interface. Here is what you call the canvas. Down here is your timeline. And over here is your effects panel. Now, part of the effects panel, the first thing we're going to learn is the media bin. So this is where you load all the media that's going to go to your document. You can do it from this button and you can pull stuff out of your computer. Or, I like to keep my stuff organized on my desktop so I can drag and drop it right in. Now, to get into the timeline, you simply highlight the media and drag them down into your timeline. Oops, there it is. Okay, now with ScreenFlow 3 you can actually use the sidebar to move your media up and down. Okay, now once it's in the timeline you can see that it's being viewed in the canvas here. Now from here, the first thing I want to talk to you about is trimming footage. So let's scrub through this. At the end of this, you'll see that I kind of sit here and pause waiting for the next thought. So if you want to trim this and make this shorter, what you can do is you can use this little zoom tool to zoom it in, simply highlight the section, and you can drag it to trim it shorter. Now if you want to trim a section out of the middle of your clip, just move the cursor to the area you want to trim, highlight the pieces of media, right click and select Split at Playhead. Then you move your cursor to where you want to rejoin it and just repeat the process. Highlight both pieces of media, right click, split clip at playhead. Now I can delete those. I can highlight my new sections, my additional sections, and I can drag them over here, and now they're combined. Before you go on to the next one, you see that it's just a nice clean edit. Okay, let's talk about starting and ending transitions. Now you see the way it starts now, it just begins. So if I want to have a transition at the beginning, I highlight the clip that I want to use, right click it, and I click Add Starting Transition. Now from here I double click the transition and I have lots of different options. I like to use a cross dissolve. It's very simple. Come on. Okay, so now I fade in very nicely. Okay, you can do the same thing at the end of the clip. Let's shrink this down, go down to the end, add an ending transition. Zoom that in so I can see it. Double click, make it a cross dissolve. Okay, so now my ending transition is going to look like this. And I can actually make the transition shorter or longer by moving the cursor. Okay, from here I'm going to show you the different effects in the effect panel, starting with video actions. So the first action I want to add is going to be on this clip right here. Now when I add an action to a piece of media, what I'm doing is altering the frame, everything past the action. So I'll take this frame right here, I'll shrink it down, drag it down to the corner. You've probably seen this type of work in other videos. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spin myself around 180 degrees, give it a cool little spinning effect. Now we can take a look and see how it looks in action. Now it's a little bit fast, so if I want to extend the action, I just take it and I can drag it and I can extend it so that way the action takes a little longer. See, that looks so much better. Alright, now we're going to create a second action on this other clip. And while I'm spinning, I'm actually going to zoom in on my screen behind me. So I'll grab this and zoom it in, get it up into the corner. Okay, now that one also we can stretch out a little bit. Alright, so let's see what they look like together. A thought before you go on to the next one. See, there's two successful video actions. A quick note on transitioning one segmented clip to another. If you want to take a clip and have a nice smooth transition instead of a break there, take the clip and drag it over the other, and you'll see there's a transition forming right there. Just double click the transition, choose the transition you want. Now we can watch it. Between thoughts. So whenever you finish, you go on to the next one. Now, to do an audio action is a lot like a video action, so let's go up and click on audio actions. Now I put the scrubber right here, and then what I'm going to do is click add audio action, and from here you can change the volume and different things. You can run two channels into one. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put an effect on it, and I'm going to put a big reverb on it, large hall. So do another action, taking the effect off. That way it zooms up your screen, and blows it up a little bit. It makes it easier to see, it makes the resolution better. As you can see, that put a nice echo on there, a nice audio effect. Now I'm going to show you how to add a call out to a screen capture. Now what we'll do is you select your media, then press add call out. Now let's start with a freehand. We'll do a square, and I'm literally just going to draw a big square right here, and from there I can adjust the opacity behind it. I can blur my called out area. I can blur the background. I can add a zoom if I want to. Okay, you can add a shadow to it if you want to. Now let's delete this. What I usually do when I create callouts and I'm doing screen capture tutorial stuff, what I usually do, let's add a callout, is I use the mouse cursor, and I do not use the opacity and I don't use the blur. What I do is I create a 4 or 5 point circle around my cursor. I usually adjust the border size a little bit, and then I simply stretch it out as long as I want to call out my mouse. So that way, as I'm clicking around on stuff, you'll be able to follow right along with me. Now let's talk about annotations. Real quickly, if you want to add an arrow or point something out, a simple way is to highlight your media. This is annotations. Click add annotations clip, and I can draw like an arrow on here. Put the arrow right there. So I can put an arrow pointed at my head. And you've also got squares and circles. You can change the color, you can change the thickness, you can add shadows and outlines. Okay, now let's add a text box to our piece of media. So when you're ready to add text, click the T in the effects panel, click add text box, and from here, once you've got your text box highlighted, you can increase the size, you can shrink it down, you can change the font type, you can change the alignment, you can change the color, you can outline it if you like, and you can adjust the backdrop. You can make it disappear, you can make it bigger or smaller. A lot of different things you can do with the text. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you is how to add an intro, outro, and logo overlay. So let's move me over to this corner. I'm going to go into my media bin. I've got my intro, which goes right to the beginning. Snap that into place. I've got an outro that goes onto the end of my presentation. Snap that into place. And then my logo is saved as a PNG file, which means it has a clear, transparent background. Take that and I stretch it throughout the length of the presentation. And let's get him into the position we want. We put him down here in the corner, go to video properties, and I can make a couple of adjustments. Like I'm going to add a reflection. There we go. Let's add a little bit of a shadow. And then I actually want him to rotate just a little bit. Now you see what it looks like when you have a sweet logo and an intro. So let's see what it looks like. Here comes the intro. Looks good. And now as the presentation starts, you can see I've got my logo overlay, and it'll sit through the entire presentation. So let's scrub through. You see it doesn't move. And let's watch the end. Pretty cool, huh? So that's it for now. To find more of our how-to series and other incredibly useful tools, just visit us at www.toolmonks.com. Until next time.